What if the elixir to a long and fulfilling life was hidden in the adventures of a 122-year-old woman from southern France? Join us as we uncover the extraordinary story of Jeanne Calment, the oldest verified person in history, who shared her simple secrets to longevity before passing at the ripe old age of 122. Imagine living through the invention of the telephone, phonograph, automobile, airplane, and women's right to vote. Tell about surviving not just one, but 2 world wars, plus the Great Depression and the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. Jeanne Calment did all that and more during her multi-decade lifespan. Jeanne was born in 1875 and was already 4 years old when Thomas Edison invented the light bulb in the year 1879. She witnessed firsthand the incredible technological and societal changes that marked the turn of the 20th century. As a young woman in her 20s and 30s, Jeanne saw cars, planes, and an array of time-saving household appliances come into mainstream usage. In the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, Jeanne marveled at inventions like televisions, computers, and the earliest forms of the internet. And speaking of the internet, that's what you're using to watch this video right now. So to celebrate how awesome the internet is, you should probably subscribe to us. Did you know that some of her close family members also had an above-average lifespan too? Jeanne's older brother, Francois, lived to the age of 97, and her father, Nicholas, who was a shipbuilder, passed when he was 93, and her mother, Marguerite, died when she was 86. It wasn't until 1985, when Jeanne was already 110 years old, that she finally decided to move into a nursing home. And that's only because the pipes froze in the apartment she lived in, and she developed a small case of frostbite. So the question you're probably asking is, what was Jeanne Calment's secret sauce for living over 120 years? Well, her longevity can be attributed to a simple, balanced lifestyle. Jeanne followed a simple diet and loved to make herself daily fruit salads with bananas and oranges. Another one of her favorites was braised beef, and Jeanne also never missed out on dessert. Once she was finished, she would pour a small glass of port wine and enjoy the first of her 2 daily cigarettes. Staying active was also key. Jeanne rode her bicycle regularly into her 90s and took leisurely walks every single day. She prioritized sleep, getting 7 to 8 hours per night, as well as taking regular naps throughout the day. Jeanne had a set bedtime, retiring around 9 p.m. every night, and she also never smoked excessively, limiting herself to just 2 cigarettes per day, one after her lunch and one shortly before she went to bed. Moderation was Jeanne's mantra, except when it came to chocolate. She loved chocolate and sometimes could eat as much as over 2 pounds in a single week. By the way, where's all my chocolate lovers out there? Because if you're one of them, make sure you prove it by clicking that subscribe button. Her lifestyle was a mix of activity, healthy foods, and proper rest for the perfect longevity cocktail. And in addition to her lifestyle habits, Jeanne Calment had a winning mindset that also contributed to her vitality. Numerous studies linked optimism and emotional well-being to reduced stress, longer and stronger immune function, and better cardiovascular health. And Jeanne made a conscious effort to keep herself socially engaged and find joy in the everyday moments of life. She also embraced volunteer work and participated in clubs, treating them as an opportunity to connect with others. Even when living through difficulties like the World Wars, Jeanne made the best of the situation and avoided dwelling on the negative. She laughed heartily every day, using humor as a tool to overcome challenges. And Jeanne inspired many with her cheerful spirit and positive thinking skills that she sharpened over her many decades of being alive. Always keep your smile was another one of her mantras, which helped her maintain her youthful attitude all the way to the age of 122. In Jeanne Calment's zest for life even in old age, continues to inspire people across the globe today. She reminds us that how we age is largely what we make of it, and maintaining a positive mindset can make a huge difference. Her volunteering and engagement in hobbies and clubs into her 100s also exemplifies that staying active and connected aids longevity. Jeanne's daily walks, chocolate treats, and glass of port wine offer simple, balanced ways to follow her lifestyle model. And her laughter in the face of adversity, from outliving a world war to an ill-advised real estate deal, motivates people to roll with the punches that life delivers. Even though she's the only person verified to have reached the age of 120, Jeanne has another record, one that goes down as being one of the worst real estate investments ever. In the year 1965, when Jeanne was 90 years old and had no living heirs, Jeanne signed a contract to sell her apartment to lawyer André Francois Raffray on a contingency contract. He agreed to pay her 2,500 francs per month, which is about $500 until she passed away, at which point then he would gain ownership to the apartment. Raffray estimated that based on her age, the apartment would be his within about 8 years. But unfortunately for him, Jeanne ended up living over 3 decades past the sale, to the age of 122. Over the 28 years before his death, Raffray shelled out more than double the apartment's worth in payments. His total payment was over $184,000 for an apartment valued at less than $50,000. And to make matters worse, Raffray's widow had to continue to pay Jeanne for an additional 3 years until Jeanne passed away. It goes down in history as one of the worst real estate deals ever made, due to Jeanne wildly surpassing any expected lifespan. And when asked about this, Jeanne simply commented, "In life, one sometimes makes bad deals." And given that Jeanne far outlived average longevity, some critics over the years have suggested her age records were falsified, but multiple experts have thoroughly investigated and verified the documents supporting Jeanne Calment's lifespan. Interviews with Jeanne herself telling lucid stories from her childhood aligned with historical events in her hometown at the time. And in the end, researchers found no concrete evidence of incorrect record keeping and concluded that Jeanne Calment's age was completely accurate, and she stands as the carefully verified oldest person ever. And thanks to her well-documented lifespan, Jeanne Calment holds the Guinness World Record for the oldest person ever, at 122 years and 164 days old. Jeanne's personal accounts provided scientists with a direct glimpse into life in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Her interviews and documentation expanded our knowledge of lifestyle habits, diet, medicine, and a lot more from that time period. Jeanne's extreme longevity paved the way for further investigation into the biological and environmental factors that enable such long lives. Researchers continue analyzing Jeanne's genetic markers, along with those of other supercentenarians, to uncover clues about slowing human aging. Jeanne Calment's lasting legacy is the inspiration of increased study into longevity determinants like genetics, lifestyle, and thought patterns, and her story confirms that the upward limits of our lifespans may be greater than we ever imagined possible. And Jeanne also proved that longevity isn't just about the genes you inherit. Her intentional, healthy habits and positive outlook played a huge role in maintaining health into her 120s. The world owes immense gratitude to Jeanne Calment for generously sharing the wisdom she gained over her 122 years here on Earth. And she continues inspiring people to embrace joy, engage in new learning, and staying active at every age. The progress scientists have made thanks to her case study is invaluable, bringing us steps closer to decoding the longevity riddle. So we've thanked Jeanne for exemplifying that small, day-to-day choices really do compound over a lifetime into better health and fulfillment. So if you love videos about the lifestyle secrets of people who look and feel way younger than they are, well, you should subscribe. Because that's all we do here at Heather's Health Haven. And by the way, if you think Jeanne's story is amazing, then you have to check out this video of the oldest World War II veteran who smoked 12 cigars every single day and lived for well over 112 years. Check it out right here.